history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
My name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
Yeah, some asshole's still sitting on howtowatchtv.com and not using it for anything of any relevance. It just links to his regular website.
You should just send him like a cease and desist order on like proper letterhead.
A long time ago, he said something like, "Well, the two, I'm not doing anything in podcasts, so they won't interfere with each other." Like when I asked him if he would be willing to give up the website name, he's like, "Oh, what I'm doing with it doesn't have anything to do with podcasts, so you're fine." I'm just like, no, but I wanted the website. That was the point.
Oh,
and the Twitter handle.
He's holding on to it, hoping that somebody will buy it out. Has got to be it.
It's just like some young guy. It wasn't some
young guy.
Yeah, some young guy.
Was he Chinese?
No, he was not. Racist. So we're here to discuss Chronologically Lost, episode 80. We finally left the island. We're talking January to October 2005.
That's crazy.
This is our first non-island episode in forever.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a few things off the island, like when Michael was coming before he came. No, that was, when he was, debating whether or not to come back and trying to kill himself. Yeah. There you go. So we start in January 2005 on the Searcher, which is my son's Lego boat now. That's the Searcher. I quickly threw that door on there to make it look like there's a...
What is the door supposed to be?
Just like the cabin area, like that whole front.
I think a steering wheel would have made sense.
Okay, are we going to nitpick it?
Maybe a light, like with a Searcher would have a light on the front of it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I missed my opportunity last week. I wanted to have like a bunch of Lego pieces exploded around the boat.
Why?
Last week because it blew up.
Oh, because I get it.
But ended up using it for the Searcher.
How old is this boat?
Which one?
This boat.
I bought it off eBay. I had one, and then our mom and dad had one from a long time ago, and then I bought one off of eBay.
Oh, where's the one that mom and dad had go?
It's upstairs.
Oh, okay. Because I remember we had that when we were kids.
Right. That's what I mean. That's the one that we had, and then I ordered another one. I was like, this is cool. I figured Sawyer would use it a lot more, and not so much. He's never actually taken it in the bath, and if you don't balance it just right, it just sinks.
Oh.
It will float a little bit, but...
Now, rubber duckies in the bathtub are fun.
Mm-hmm. So we start at the Searcher, Penny's boat, and Jack and Kate talk, and she's already acting like she knows Aaron. I mean, I guess she does from the island, but...
Like she knows Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, she's like, oh, well, he hasn't had his nap yet. It's almost like she's already taken on the maternal role.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I get that she's going to do that. And
he's
that's
probably
kind of what she's
cranky because he hasn't eaten in, 100 days or something. And now that they're not on the island's not, like, invisibly feeding him.
See? You answered it. That's why he was never hungry.
Cranky.
He was never hungry because the island was magically feeding him.
And I'm sure that Penny had baby formula on the ship when they picked him up.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly she would know that there's going to be a baby.
Or maybe they have, like, avocados that they're, like, smashing up and feeding to him with, like, little baby spoons.
I will say this. Charlie's kind of a dick if he didn't say, hey, make sure there's baby food to Penny.
There's going to be a baby, too.
Yeah, there's also a baby, so please.
Bring the baby.
Because Desmond just told him that they'll be going off in the helicopter, which they did not end up doing. Which is still a point of contention for me.
But Aaron did.
Yeah, but Claire and Aaron he saw Claire and Aaron get into a helicopter, is what he said.
Yeah, but then the man in black interfered and changed the course of events for Claire going off with her dad.
I mean, I guess, but that feels like a cop out in terms of like that he can change things like that because if Desmond was seeing it, it's all supposed to be truthful. It's supposed to be what he actually saw and what is going to happen.
Well, what
so
else
I wonder if
happened?
he lied to Charlie. I wonder if he just didn't, if he told him that to get him,
Maybe.
to make him feel better, so to speak.
I mean, super selfish on Desmond's part to lie about it just so he could see his girlfriend again, but I get it.
Right. Fair enough. So it's been 2 nights since we last saw them. So I'm assuming it's January 3rd now, or 2nd, or something like that. And I think I'd be 100% comfortable back in a regular bed night 1. What
Why
is this
wouldn't you?
bullshit of, oh, well, it's going to take me a while to get used to a regular bed again, Jack?
Eh.
Why? Instantly. You're
Right.
like,
oh, this feels amazing.
Right. You know what I miss? Those twigs, those roots digging into me.
You know what I miss? Slapping my ankle when I'm getting bit in the middle of the night.
Right,
That's what I'd like to go back to.
So Kate's thinking about what they want to do with Aaron. She was telling Jack that he was going to be given up for adoption by Claire, and she wants to say Aaron is hers, and she just says she doesn't want to lose anyone else. Names Sawyer, Michael, and Jen as people. Like, Michael? That's somebody you're going to put on your high list of people we've lost to make you...
Well, those people literally just died.
Okay. Well, Sawyer never died.
But they don't... He's lost. He's gone.
Right. Yeah, Sawyer isn't dead, but he's gone. Now, Jack tells her that tomorrow he's going to have to convince everyone to lie. He already fucking did that. He already did that on the raft when they got picked up by Penny.
Yeah, but he didn't convince them of what the lie was going to be.
It just felt like...
And maybe at that point,
yeah.
they were thinking they had to lie to the people on the Searcher, not necessarily all of the world.
I guess, but it just felt like maybe a continuity error. Like they didn't... I don't know. Like they were trying to tease it later on, just in the way the order of episodes came out, because maybe it was just about the Searcher, but it felt very much like he was saying that in general. Like
he probably was, but then when he got on the Searcher, he had to talk to Penny and tell him that, hey, we're gonna lie, so you guys have to get on board with our story.
Okay, I guess. So he asked Kate if she is with him, and he says, she's like, I've always been with you, Jack. No, you haven't. Don't.
Yeah, not the case,
yeah,
but whatever.
Bullshit.
I'm with you whenever I'm not with Sawyer.
Right, Jack. In the morning, they're acting like he never mentioned this before, and this is one of the dumber continuity errors to me. They aren't taking it lightly. Jack turns to Kate, then Son, then Frank, and then Hurley's like, yeah, I don't think we should lie. And he asks Penny to call her father off, and she's like, yeah, no, that's not a thing. Hurley points out that he would never find the island. It's gone bloop. Yeah. I love that he made the sound effect. That's fucking awesome. If he tells people the truth, they'll think he's crazy, but not if somebody backs him up. He's like, like Kate did for Jack, just then. Yeah. He doesn't want to spend the rest of his life lying, and Saeed sort of agrees with him, but Hurley's like, you know what? I'm going to remember. Saeed agrees to do it, to lie, and then Hurley's like, I'm going to remember this. Someday you're going to need my help, and you're not getting it. Felt, I don't know, a bit vengeful. I mean, I guess Hurley's sort of a big child.
But what would Hurley need from Saeed?
No, Saeed would need from Hurley.
Either way.
What do you mean? He ends up saving his life when he gets tranquilized or whatever happened to Saeed, and then he gets put on Hurley's mom's couch.
We haven't seen that yet.
Oh, that might be the sideways, actually, now that I'm saying it.
I'm like, I don't remember. Okay.
Maybe not. Oh, yeah, that is the sideways, for fuck's sake. Okay. FFS. So they decide that they're going to say they were on Membata the whole time. Or were they... Yeah, that they were on Membata for...
Is it an uninhabited island?
Right,
okay.
Yes. They're sailing 3,000 miles to Sumba, and they're dropping a raft into the water 8 to 9 hours before they hit land. It'll give you a good tan, a convincing sunburn. They say goodbye to Frank, Penny, and Desmond. And Desmond asks Jack if he's sure, and Jack asks him the same, and he's like, as long as I've got Penny, I'll be fine. Wasn't tearing up when he said that.
It was really cute.
See you they exchange "See you in another life, brothers," and let's go home. And then they arrive at the beach in Sumba, and they all seem to be relieved to be on land with like regular people, so to speak.
Yeah.
I remember that being such a huge moment in the show because at the time we didn't know that we did know that Jack said we have to go back, and that he was off the island at the end of season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I just remember that being like, oh, that's fucking cool that they made it to where other people are. Like they could say what they're going to do or what happened, but they're not going to now. So, it was sort of like good and bad. I wanted it to be a thing where...
Well, and the only thing that I was thinking about during that whole scene was how that would play out, like, now. Literally right now in our world.
How what would play out?
If people on the beach are, like, working and they're fishing and they're doing all this stuff, and then a bunch of Americans start rolling up in, like, a raft... Everybody get out like their AK-47s.
Right.
Like, it would not be like welcoming to.
But who's arriving on the raft? I'm confused about
the Americans
this analogy.
Coming into any other country.
But
I'm just saying right now, like nobody wants us.
You mean politically? Okay, yes. I was confused. I'm like
so they're all like, and the kid is just like wandering out there, and I'm thinking about my kid, and I'm like, well, I wouldn't really want him going out and helping like strangers on this raft, like that's just because of all the shitty things that happen in the world. We're not welcoming anymore. Nobody
or welcomed as much, yeah.
And we're not welcomed anywhere.
Well, like I said, they all seem to be relieved to be on land, and then we go to the opening Lost. Then we come back in the cargo plane, where the co-pilot is rubbing a rabbit's foot because of the cargo.
Yeah.
Bad juju or bad mojo.
And none of them seemed overly nervous about being on the plane.
What, like it was going to crash?
Yeah, I would think
that
after
first thought?
After going through being on a plane that crashed, would you want to get on another plane? I mean, I guess people get in car accidents all the time and continue to drive.
Because, what are the odds you're going to have a second car accident?
I know.
Or, a second plane
and
crash.
The plane crash to car accident ratio is, like, way different. Right. So, every time we go on vacation, I'm always worried about the last part of getting home. Like, coming from Chicago to Crown Point is the most dangerous part of that trip.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily the plane ride.
Yeah, fair enough.
And nowadays... more so being in the airport because people come in with guns and crap, you know. So it's like,
back in the day, you could walk right up to you could see somebody off to the loading on the plane.
Yeah.
It was the shit. I remember that back in the day.
I remember
so much
flying out of Gary Airport once.
I don't think I've ever been there.
When we went to Florida 1 year, it was only 1 year. I remember going. I was in high school, and it was so awesome. Like you walked in. It was like all open. You give them your luggage. You mean? Yeah, there was like nobody there. There was like one terminal. You give them your luggage. You get your plane ticket, and you just sit there and wait. And then you walk out to the plane, like
literally walk out to the plane, climb up some steps, and get in it.
No, I don't think we did that. I think there was a chute like there is at O'Hare, but O'Hare is like 7 billion miles in every direction, and it's so huge.
It is pretty massive. So they tell him they're going to land at a military facility in Honolulu. The fucking cat is just
constantly
spread like this,
itself.
But legs. Just that.
If you could lick yourself like that, wouldn't you?
She tells them their families are already there, and there will be press, and Jack agrees to talk to them. They're referring to them as the Oceanic Six. Hence the sign, and Jack tells them to keep their mouths shut if they ask questions they can't answer, basically.
Or don't want to.
Right. They'll think we're in shock, and sounds like, we are in shock, Jack. Like, all these people just died.
Was good that she said that, because I feel like they're just totally glossing over the fact that she just lost her husband.
Right, he's being sort of callous about it, but he never had good bedside manner.
I know, and I get that.
Sort of on
but everybody
character.
is kind of just staring, like... oh, we're just doing
They are
this.
in shock, though.
We're going along with the next thing that we have to do.
Right.
We don't really like it, but whatever.
Right. So they land in Hawaii, and then the hatch opens.
See, and this made me nervous too, because I'm thinking like, okay, now they're landing in Hawaii. None of them live in Hawaii. So now they have to get on another freaking plane to fly home.
No, they're going to film the next episode there because it's all filmed in Hawaii.
But
they had to leave the island for the scene.
Dang, yeah. I just was like, oh, that sucks. Now they have to do this press conference, and then they're all going to get shipped off on different planes.
Oh, and what am I talking about? They didn't get they weren't actually in the air for that scene.
No, I mean,
they would have just had a set. That
they
looked
turned
like
on some vibration, and they were all like, strapped in.
Right. You're strapping in something that vibrates. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying? Okay.
exactly.
I just wanted to be clear that was what you were talking about.
Just getting on board with this cat over here.
Right, Kat's getting me all in the mood over here.
Ew.
Hurley's parents are there.
She's licking her back shoulder blade.
Okay,
how does that happen?
I wish I could do that.
You can't even scratch your shoulder blade.
I can't even. I could barely touch my armpit the other day. It was ridiculous. I worked it out too hard in physical therapy for my other shoulder. They're like warm up, and it's this hand bike basically. You're just pedaling, and the last.
I feel like that's a
right.
What was that?
Like the speed bag.
Yeah, that workout that we used to do when we were kids. It was like a workout video. That black guy.
Oh, you're talking about shit. I can't remember the name of it, but it was some kind of like jazzercise or some sort of the guy's name or some. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway. You worked
but
out too
so
hard.
I was the last 10 seconds. I'm like, I'm really gonna go for it, and then the next day, this shoulder hurt worse than this one ever has. And it was like that the whole weekend. I had to film a wedding on Saturday. I'm just like, ugh. I got in bed at the end of the night, and I'm like, like using one arm to lift the other one and slap it over. Ridiculous.
My God.
Okay, so Hurley's parents are there, Son's parents, Jack's mom, no one for Kate.
Obviously.
And there was no one for Saeed yet.
Now, is Kate's mom supposed to be dead? Is her mom... Because remember she had cancer like forever ago,
right.
And
yeah, she totally did, and she was a total bitch.
Yeah.
That ratted out her own daughter.
Yeah, and
like an asshole.
Wasn't thankful that her daughter killed her husband.
The beating her husband. Yeah. But I guess the beating her husband that she was only staying with because it was actually her dad.
Okay, but anyway.
Yeah.
Do you think she's dead? Do we see her again?
I don't. Well.
I don't remember.
Yes, we do see her again. You know why?
In the sideways or in the real?
No, in the real, because...
in the real?
On the real. Because she tries to see her grandchild.
Oh,
and that's when we find out she's dying.
Yeah, okay.
So
we knew she was dying.
Spoilers.
What do you mean? She was in the hospital, like, before they went on the island with cancer. And that's why Kate went to see her, and that doctor got killed.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Tom.
Yeah.
That doctor. Only her childhood love that left her in the airplane.
Whatever.
At the Oceanic 6 press conference, they speculate the crash site near Mambata. On day 103, a typhoon washed up the remnants of a Taiwanese fishing boat, including the raft. On day 108, I mean, come on. I love that they fucking worked that out and got that in there. They all used the raft to sail to Sumba near a village called Manukanga. The press questions went, how did they survive the impact with the ocean? Jack said it happened really fast. A group of them got to the emergency door and got out before it went down. They had cushions and life jackets and shit.
I'm surprised that they didn't say that the back half broke off and they were able to swim out the back.
No, and you know why? Because the plane is intact at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh.
They have to go with that story.
Okay.
They can't say what really happened.
Okay.
So,
but I thought all the bodies were in that plane.
I mean, I'm not sure that they went in and counted, but they said all 325 were there. I think what they meant was that they could see from the outside of the plane. It's not like I don't know that they opened the door and went in.
Okay.
But like from the outside, the captain was there, the co-pilot,
Yeah.
you could see passengers in there. So they're like, yeah, the whole, it's not busted open anywhere. So presumably they would
Oh.
all be in there.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even think about that. But I was, like, when they were talking, I'm like, they got out the door? Why didn't they just swim out the back?
Right. The current took him in after a day, and there were only 8 of them left. It's interesting the choices of the ones that they decided to mention. Boone Carlyle died a few days after the crash from internal injuries. That was how he died.
They didn't want to lie. I think they wanted to just
Use some truth.
say things that they can relate to.
I mean, but you say that. Libby didn't make it through the first week.
She didn't with them.
With them. Oh, with them. Okay. Charlie Pace drowned a few weeks before we were able to leave.
Which is true.
That is true, yep. They asked Curly about his money, and he's like, I don't want the money back. It was just bad luck. And then we get a question in Korea, and she asked if her husband died on the island. In Korean, yes. Did I say in Korea?
In Korea. Like, oh, did they flash
They
over from
teleported
Hawaii to...
the flash sideways to Korea. They ask if her husband died on the island, and she said no, he never made it off the plane. So these
That was a lie, but everything else was...
They don't feel like bombshells now, whereas at the time when we were seeing them, they felt like bombshells because we didn't know the context of what had happened.
Like, what? What?
Yeah, because this is before the finale of 4, which we've already seen,
Yeah.
because that was the boat exploding.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, that's right. This stuff was all going with the beginning of season 4.
And the sideways is, right?
Nope. It was the flash forwards.
The forwards, okay.
Yeah, this is part of the beginning of the flash forwards are these. They asked Saeed if he's aware of what's going on in Iraq and if he's going to return, and he says there's nothing for him there.
What was going on in Iraq?
2004, I would imagine stuff from
9/11?
9/11, like Fallout, yeah. They ask they ask what Jack's plans are, and he says he was bringing his father home for his funeral. He'd like to put him to rest, even though he doesn't have the body. And they ask Kate what it was like giving birth on the island, and I think she answered in Claire's voice, scary. Yeah, I think she's like, yeah, it was scary. And Aaron is 5 weeks old.
5 months, she said.
Did she say 5 months? Okay. They apprehended her in Australia when she was 6 months pregnant. He can't be 5 months. They were only there 108 days.
Oh, did
she said 5 weeks. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Oh, maybe she said 5 weeks.
Because if she was 6 months pregnant, 3 weeks after that, 3 months after that, is going to be 90 days. 90 to 101, or 108 now.
That's only 90 10 days. So she had the baby 3 months early, or 4 months.
It would have had to have been a month early. Maybe a couple weeks early, basically. We don't know exactly when this is, but it was shortly after that, so it's sometime in January.
Okay.
So it could have been, she must have done the math back to when she should have had the baby and just been working up from there, even though the baby's clearly older than that.
Definitely is.
Right.
But, I mean, you can argue it either way, because she could have had a healthy baby at 7 months pregnant, not very likely on an island without antibiotics and baby food at all, or diapers and infection, like all that shit. But
somebody asked about her legal issue, and they say it's off the table, which is interesting. Why is it off the table?
I don't know, because she just survived that crash, and they have to talk to her about that before the Oceanic Airlines is going to have to buy her out.
What do you mean buy her out? You can't just buy out of legal things. I mean, can you?
They're going to buy her out of suing the shit out of them for her living through that plane crash.
Right, but that doesn't help her legally speaking. Why are they giving her a pass? Because she died? But she didn't die. And if that happened in real life, they would just prosecute her still. I don't understand why she gets a free pass.
I don't know.
Oceanic shouldn't have that much pull. It's a fucking airline.
Maybe because she went through so much trauma, they figured it's okay that you killed your daddy.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Maybe.
Go on. I like where you're going. I like that tone. That sounded like a tone of somebody who thought of something.
Maybe her mom dropped the charges after she died.
You can't drop murder charges.
Why not?
No, she could have not testified. That's it.
Maybe she said she was no longer going to testify against her daughter.
It felt like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Does anybody have any explanation? Somebody answered last time we asked a question. I don't know if I mentioned that.
I got nothing else.
I don't know if I mentioned that at all, but I feel like I should go to that and read the comments that were sent in last week.
As long as they weren't talking negatively about me.
What, you can't take that? You're not interested in...
Don't care.
She's not interested in hearing in bad things
Don't
about her.
care.
Okay, Widmore got banned from the island for having a child
We
with an
talked about
outsider. Okay, so was that not last week? No, that's 78.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Did I not post 79? Maybe I didn't.
God, we're just like weeks behind, you know?
Well, I don't understand. That's weird.
What is happening?
I swore I did already.
And I was ahead of time this week. I watched the whole episode without falling asleep way before today.
Huh. Interesting. I thought that episode was already out. Sorry about that. Maybe we didn't do 79.
We definitely podcasted 79.
Right. Strange. Anyway.
Because it was the second one with my swishy swish and my hair in the way on the mic.
Yeah, which is exactly what I mean. I swear I uploaded that already. God damn it, now I gotta check the website. I swore
Which
I had.
is www.
Comeuppance.com. It's comeuppance.com. Let's see. Chronologically Lost. No, 78 is the last one I have up there.
Why do I hear my child out on your deck?
I don't know.
Talking, rambling. That's got to be Maddie. She's been talking for 15 minutes.
So they end up asking, is it possible, are there any other survivors yet to be discovered? And they say no. Saeed then is told that Nadia is outside, and
which was, oh my God, I cried like a baby.
Yeah, when he saw Nadia.
So exciting.
But as soon as he did his open mouth thing, you're like,
stop.
It's the most ridiculous fucking not
I
crying
don't pause
thing.
it on that. Oh, speaking of pausing on hilarious faces,
Go
and
on.
I know that nobody really can see this, but Jeremy sent me this photo of Mackenzie at her party that she had last weekend. And I don't know if you viewers can see this. However, that is my daughter, and it is like paused on the worst, like one eye. So watch, because when you play it, like the live video, it's amazing. But it picked that to like be the photo.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, that's the photo that comes up on my phone when she calls me now.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's the
so
best
good.
picture you could have picked. Okay, so I don't remember where Cassidy was at. Do you remember? Location-wise?
Wasn't she in like... Well, she wasn't in Sydney, was she? No.
No.
Yeah. Well, now Kate ran into to Cassidy, so where was Cassidy at that point?
I don't know. In the South somewhere, or Tennessee,
It's
or
gotta be like
Tallahassee. I don't know.
It's got to be like Arizona or one of those places because there was no grass. It was all just
rocks, whatever. Okay.
Cactuses in her yard.
Fair enough. Just cactuses. Just all cactuses. The whole ground is covered in cactus.
It was rocks and then one cactus and then her house.
So she drives up listening to Patsy Cline. She's obsessed. And she sings Catch a Falling Star to Aaron. I was totally not crying that bad.
It was really sweet. So that's what Claire sang to him, right?
That's what Claire's mom sang to her.
Okay.
Yeah. Cassidy remembers her, and she tells her Sawyer Center, and she gives him an envelope of money. Nobody's here.
They're not here.
Can you shut the door, please? Pays no mind to Snap Point. I mean, Snap Point is very self-explanatory. Get out.
It's usually like when I'm on the phone with a client and they walk in and I'm like... They actually are like...
Well, Cassidy remembers her, and she tells her the Sawyer Center, and she gives him an envelope, or gives her an envelope of money, and that he said to take care of Clementine. Cassidy's pretty salty at this point.
Yeah, and she doesn't believe Kate at all. I don't remember Clementine being this witty. So, I mean...
Cassidy.
What did I say?
Clementine.
Oh, you know what I mean. Cassidy being that witty as far as calling Kate out and saying, this isn't even Sawyer's money.
Well, yeah, why did Kate trust her? And she's because Clementine had a right to know her father cared. Sawyer jumped out to make sure they got to the boat, and she called him a coward. says he was trying to get away from her not doing the right thing, and he never lifted a finger when she told him that they had a daughter, and she doesn't think the money is even from him, like he said.
Now...
And it's not. It's from Kate's settlement, which...
But did Sawyer know that she was pregnant? She found out... Yes, he found out when he was in jail, and he set up that trust fund in Clementine's name.
Correct.
So that was all supposed to lead us to believe that this money was really from Sawyer.
Oh, shit, good point. I forgot about the trust fund thing, so I wonder if that's still there. I mean, maybe she'll get it when she turns 18 or something.
That wasn't a forward, because we already saw it. So...
Right, that was in the past. She just doesn't know about it.
Right.
Which maybe that works out for the best. Later on, she gets the money.
Okay.
Well, Kate tells her it's part of her settlement, and she says Kate looks the same as when he ditched her. Like, she's got the same look on her face as when Sawyer ditched her. She asks if Aaron is Sawyer's, and she can tell that Kate's lying, that Aaron isn't her baby, and she just tells her that I have to lie about him.
Yeah.
But that's not lying about him.
Right, that's telling the
that's
truth.
Admitting that it's not your baby.
Yeah, you should have said he's definitely my kid.
So she clearly trusts him. I mean, or trusts her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, why the fuck would she say that?
Right.
So anyway, a couple months later, it has to be, because Son is particularly pregnant now. At Pike Industries, he's yelling at people about, how could this happen? And then Son comes up and she's like, oh, I hope I'm not interrupting. And he's like, oh, it's just business stuff. Nothing you'd understand.
He's such a dick.
That must have been really fucking satisfying for her to be like, to shove it in his face. And he's like, oh, how's the pregnancy? And she's like, don't pretend to be interested in my baby. You hated my husband. And he's like, he plays the so overused respect me card. Yeah. And it's just like,
I'm your father.
That doesn't count. Like,
don't
fucking,
care.
you have to be a good father to get the respect.
And a nice person.
Right. You don't get to be an asshole.
Right.
I mean, you get to be an asshole, sure.
I mean, my dad's an asshole on occasion. But
good parent, I guess. You know, it worked.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still works in present day in terms of our
part
interaction.
Asshole and then part awesome. You don't get to just 100% asshole and demand respect.
That's where he's fallen apart here. She tells him that she bought a controlling interest in his company with her oceanic money. And she's like, so now you'll respect me. And he's like, why? And she's like, you ruined my husband's life. And she blames two people for his death. And he is one of them. Widmore? Mm-hmm. Yeah? She says she's going to have the baby, then they can discuss plans for our company.
She wouldn't blame
Jack?
Ben Linus. Right? She wouldn't. It's got to be Widmore. Has to be.
Right. Or Kimi. But that doesn't matter.
She even came into contact with Kimi ever.
Well, but to that point, she's never come in contact with Widmore. But it's definitely Widmore.
It's got to be Widmore.
Yeah. Back at Hurley's mom's house, he got some Mr. Cluck's chicken, and he's driving a clunker-ass car. I mean, it's backfiring and bouncing all over the place. I mean, I get that you don't want to use the money, but do you think he took it back, or do you think that he doesn't have the lottery money?
No, I don't think he has the lottery money.
Okay. So he finds a coconut on the living room floor, and then hears whispers. Unrealistic whispers. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
That did not sound like anything anybody would do at a party. It was like,
everybody get down. Everybody get down.
We're going to do this.
I don't know.
It was unbelievable. I mean, come on.
Definitely.
But that was cool at the time. I was like, oh, shit. Is something from the island here?
Yeah.
He grabs a golden Jesus statue, and he's about to hit somebody with it, then finds there's a surprise party in the backyard. And his mom, Jesus Christ, is not a weapon.
But the layout of that house, he walks in the front door and then walks into a bedroom straight off the front of the house.
Okay.
And then opened up a door to the patio, and they were partying outside.
That was to the backyard?
I want my house like that. Just
have
walk
your
in the front door and be like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Right, that's it. Sleep time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen plenty of houses where you walk in and the bedroom's right there. Right off to the left. Scramlin's house in Evansville was like that. You'd walk in and there were two bedrooms right there to the left.
Yeah, I guess.
And then to the right was the living room, then kitchen, then more bedroom. You know, over that way. So
I guess it's just mine opens up into the living room, so it's weird.
My new one it'll open up into Jen's office or living room if you're coming in from the garage. But so Kate is there. It's Hurley's birthday. Jack is running late. She says he never shows up. What a douche. Yeah. I mean, I guess he's still mad or obsessing at this point about other stuff.
Or he's drunk at this point because he could be at that. We have to go back.
Right.
With the beard and everything. Chilling at the airport.
Right. Saeed and Nadia are here. Interesting choice of theme, he points out. He's like, yeah, my mom doesn't really get it.
Yeah.
Hurley's dad is being weird, talking about, oh, what are you guys talking about? Building campfires or something? Like, okay. What?
Yes, that's exactly what we want to do that tonight.
We're going to sleep campfires. Outside. So he says he wants to show Hurley his present, and it's the Camaro.
Why is there a gnat in here?
It's not a problem.
Snat.
It's not a problem. After the crash, he worked on it as a memorial to him, and he said it felt like they were almost together when he was doing that. That was kind of sweet, you know. His dad's a bit of a douche.
Trying to make up for being a super douche all those years.
I get it. For leaving for 17 years on a motorcycle.
And then only
feels like
coming
a long
back
time.
when he was
a lottery winner.
Yeah.
So he gives him the keys with a white rabbit's foot on them. I thought that was ironic, considering the plane pilot or co-pilot. Hurley sees the numbers on the dash, and he's like, "Is this a joke?" And I don't want any part of this shit. And he runs off down the street.
Now, I don't think that the white rabbit's foot at that time was supposed to correlate with the airline pilot's rabbit foot. I think we were supposed to correlate it with
the Dharma
Ben's
bunny. Yeah,
line.
well, but that's what the one in the plane reminded me of, too.
Yeah.
Like, it all ties back
rabbit,
to that,
yeah.
but it was just, like, in the same episode we get that.
Okay.
Now, admittedly, yeah, you're right, that wasn't in the same episode at the time.
Right, it wasn't supposed to correlate, but it does.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, so we go to Christian Shepherd's funeral, and Jack is given a eulogy, and he says he wrote something 10 months ago, but his father would have hated it. The only good thing about a wake is the free booze, he used to say. Jack wants to say some stuff for him. He just says, "Goodbye, Dad. I loved you. I miss you." And then he meets Claire's mom, and she says she's the reason Christian was in Australia when he died. He came to see her daughter. And you know the strangest thing? She was on the plane, too. Her name was Claire. And it sort of takes Jack's breath away. He's like,
yeah.
You know,
because he couldn't say anything.
She sees Aaron and says he's beautiful, not realizing it's her grandson.
That was a huge reveal to us, right? Like, we didn't know before that?
Nope, we knew.
Sure?
Jack didn't know.
Jack didn't know.
It was finally Jack was finding out something we had known for 4 seasons.
You're right, okay.
Right, this was in season 4 still. At Sun's house, she's packing a bag and turns off the TV, which had expose playing on it. And Sun is... she's contracting, and she calls for an ambulance. I had contacting. Didn't put the R.
But that was the episode where then Jin was trying to get the bear for the...
Right.
Yeah.
I loved that episode.
That was a really good episode.
Ji-yeon was an amazing episode. One of the more emotional ones. She calls for an ambulance, and at the hospital, everyone is telling her it'll be okay, and they're mentioning that she's one of the Oceanic Six. They try to take off her ring, and her doctor is away at a conference. I mean, what are the odds of that? That your doctor's gone when you're supposed to be giving birth?
I mean, it's actually really high. Like,
yeah, it happens a lot.
Now, my doctor happened to be there for all 3 of my births, but I have... I know several people who see the same doctor every appointment all the way up until their birth, and then their doctor is not the one that's on call the night that their baby is being born. So some stranger delivers their child.
Yeah.
I was in there for one strange asshole to deliver this child, and I was so mad because he was just yelling at her, like, if you stop screaming, then you'd have more energy to push the baby out. And I'm like, oh, this douchebag. I'm gonna
That's, you start filming that. This is my
God.
filming hand, apparently.
So
you just start filming that fucker being a douche
so
hole.
mad.
Yeah. So, is there anyone they should contact? And she goes, just get Jin, my husband. And then she drops the Jin sushi.
Do you think that they knew that her husband was dead?
No, I mean, why would he know that? It's not her doctor. That's the only reason they got away
Aside
with.
from
She
the-
got away with saying that, because if her doctor had been there, he would have said, your husband died before you got
But
back
maybe
here.
he wouldn't have because
Well,
she's
not
in shock and you know.
Not that callously, but he would have known that he died.
He gone.
Right. He did. I say he did.
Yeah, he blew up on that boat. Remember?
Right. He says he has to perform a C-section, and then she's crying out for Jin, and then the baby's crowning, and she pushes, and she has it regular.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I didn't quite
why.
understand what that was about.
I think I don't remember him. He did say C-section, and then they said that they couldn't give her any more pain meds because she was too far
I was
along
definitely
or
crying during
something.
this scene because
It was really sad.
there's something about a baby being born that is the greatest moment of your life.
That's so
And
cool.
whether obviously I was never the one giving birth, but to experience that moment, to be so proud of the wife for putting
Yeah.
up with, you know what I mean? Like it's a really fucking.
It's really
It's
cool.
one of the more emotional moments of
Yeah.
my life.
And it's one that most people don't want to film because it's so crazy. Not like
No, I
have,
don't film below the equator. I'm not
yeah.
filming that.
Now I have a video somewhere of Mackenzie being born.
like all up in
all
that
of
shit.
it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when Kate and Maddie were born, I was like,
Yeah,
like,
why don't you keep the camera up here?
We'll just take some pictures.
Let's not be
Like,
on Facebook Live right now. How about I just pop that up?
Can you imagine? Hey, everybody. Here I'm at.
Facebook,
I'm
just
filming here today from my vagina. Like,
here we are reporting live from Jenna Vagina.
yeah.
Jenna Vagina.
Jenna vagina.
Jenna vagina.
I remember when I was in labor with Maddie, I can still picture the exact moment where it was like real and it was about to happen, and I was like, never mind, I just want to go home.
You really said that?
I said it.
With
I said it out
Mackenzie?
loud. No, with Maddie.
Really?
She was the
By the last one?
she was the biggest. So
You expected it to hurt worse?
no, it was hurting worse. So
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
forget it. Never mind. I'm not gonna have her today. Let's just go home. Like, we'll do this. We'll
that
try
work?
again tomorrow. No, it didn't work at
Did you
all.
have her in
Yes, definitely had her.
Would you say that the birth was the most painful moment of your life?
Hers was, yes.
Hers was? I actually got the gnat. You believe that?
No way.
Yeah, I killed it. It landed right
Thank
there. I
God.
pushed it off.
Yeah. I mean, Maddie was a full 3 pounds heavier than
But
Mackenzie.
how long did it last?
Oh, not long.
Like minutes or
Yeah.
hour?
I mean,
Do you remember how long the pain lasted? That always is. I'm always
she
curious
was
about
born
that
within
stuff.
an hour and a half of arriving at the hospital,
Nice.
or knowing
That's fucking ideal.
or knowing that I was in labor.
That's
Something
fucking
it was fabulous. I feel terrible.
River was so expedited. I mean, Lena was the quickest actual labor to birth. It was 11 minutes. From when Jen started labor at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
to 3:11 when, boom, she was born. Or it might have been 2:50 to 3:01. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Mom asked her earlier, when do you think you're going to have it? She's like, 3 a.m. I mean, it was within 2 minutes of
Caden
the
was
time.
born.
And it was just done.
I'm trying to think. One of them was born at 3:21
Yeah?
because that was Lena's birthday. Was 3:21.
Right.
Mackenzie was at noon.
How did we get so
I
off
don't know.
topic?
I don't know because of the birth. She's super crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I get it.
Ji-yeon being born.
I don't know. I feel bad for people because I know people who have had 21-hour labors, and that's awful.
I mean, it doesn't
full
make
in
sense. Just get
pain.
to it.
Yeah, what is going on?
Pop it out.
Yeah,
Just get
terrible.
done with it. So she puts her ring back on a while later, and someone rings the doorbell. So I'm assuming this is a couple months later as she's regular size again, so to speak. And I mean, I don't mean to minimize or trivialize that because I get how hard that must be for women to.
To lose the weight?
Yeah, whatever you gain with the baby might be difficult. You would
Yeah.
have to go out of your way to lose it. You know what I mean? It wouldn't just happen on its own.
Not necessarily. I mean,
the first one maybe.
as long as you're not gaining 80 pounds with your pregnancy. If you're gaining 30 pounds or 25 pounds with your pregnancy,
it pretty much goes
that
away.
should go away
Right.
easily because you lose the baby that's 10 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, all the fluids and all that shit, and then the other 10 pounds should just come off out of exhaustion.
Right.
So, I mean, the 30 pounds that I've put on in the past few years is from Oreos and Cheez-Its
so
and
delicious.
beer. I mean, nothing to do with
so as
anything
soon
else.
as the podcast is over, you're going to lose
I'm
the
going
weight.
to lose all sorts of weight. Now, to be fair,
2 beers a week. Don't have a...
2 beers. It's the podcast's fault I gained 30 pounds.
Right. It's definitely the podcast's fault. I mean, I've gained 30 pounds 20 pounds in the last 10 years, last 5 years. I'd say 5.
I tried a few times
Since
to
I
lose
quit
it.
smoking cigarettes.
It was the smoking cigarettes. That's why
You
I
quit smoking cigarettes too?
That's a long time ago. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't remember when you last smoked.
When was the last time you've seen me smoking?
Oh, I mean, it's been 3 years at least.
Yes,
I
which
don't
is
know.
when I put on 30 pounds over the past 3 years.
Oh, okay.
So it's like...
So you were a casual smoker
God.
before and now just not at all.
I would hide smoking, like in the evenings.
But only in the evenings? Like you didn't ever smoke during the day?
No, never, because I didn't ever want to smell like smoke.
You didn't want to get caught or
Yeah.
you didn't want to smell like smoke?
Both.
Okay.
Which is the worst way to live your life.
Oh, hiding part of who you are?
Like,
Yeah,
God,
that's
that
garbage.
sucks. It's so terrible.
So anyway, Hurley shows up at Son's house and he asks if anyone else is coming and she's like, no. He's like, good.
Yeah.
So what, anyone else from the island? Is that what he was thinking? That maybe somebody else
Yeah,
would
he
show
didn't
up?
want to see anybody else. I think he's still mad at everybody for lying. But why wouldn't he be mad at her?
Because I don't think she really wanted to do it either.
She was the second one to agree. Or third, or whatever.
I don't know. He meets Ji Yeon and says she's awesome and that she looks just like Jen. And he's like, we should go see him.
Yeah.
And at the cemetery, they visit his headstone and Son says Jen was right, it's a girl. She says the delivery was hard on her and that she was calling out for him. And we see that his death date was 9/22/04, so the date of the plane crash.
Yeah.
She introduces him to Ji Yeon and says she named him just like he wanted, and I miss you so much. That was all really good and touching and stuff, you know.
I was sobbing.
Yeah, you were sobbing as she's talking
Like,
to her husband's
stupid
headstone.
sobbing.
But you know he's not dead.
But more for her and the thought that she knows that he's
Oh, right.
dead.
But she thinks he is, yeah.
She, down in her core, she knows her husband is dead and he will never meet her daughter. Well, he never does, but
So,
spoiler alert.
Somebody that I knew in high school died 3 days ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
And his uncle uses the same last name and has a shop. So anyway, he gets a call, the uncle. I'm standing here, your son is dead. 10 minutes, he accepts that, and 10 minutes later his son shows up for work.
Oh my God.
And he realizes it was his nephew. Could you fucking imagine that?
Oh, that's
I'm
terrible.
standing here with your dead son.
Yeah.
10 minutes later, he just walks into work after you've been
I mean, he's
what
got
the
to,
fuck?
had to be like
That had to be the greatest moment
Yeah.
ever. But at the same time, realizing somebody else in the family had died.
Yeah.
That's awful. But still, to know that it's not your son,
Right.
that was like holy fucking
Yeah.
shit. But I mean, awful that the guy died still.
How did he die?
No idea. I don't have any explanation yet.
Did you hear about the Mack truck collision yesterday?
Mom told me about it this morning on the way to work, yeah.
So it was, last night, all the article said was that a SUV with 4 people in it collided head on with a Mack truck. And okay, nobody's going to survive that. 3 of the people were pronounced dead at the scene, and 1 was transported by ambulance to St. Anthony's, which I heard yesterday. Like, I heard the commotion of all the ambulances, and I remember thinking, where's Mom? Like, she's not home from work yet. And, like, I was kind of worried, and I had called her, and she didn't answer, and I was like, oh, God. So, I mean, we live near a
Hey,
hospital.
Siri, where's Mom?
Yeah. So, anyway.
I was just making sure it didn't fuck up my phone there.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It stops the recording
yeah.
to answer.
So, anyway, today was an updated article on it, and it was a 45-year-old woman with a 68-year-old woman and a 7-year-old girl that were dead. Which to me sounds like 3 generations.
Ooh.
Sounds like mom, grandma, daughter.
Oh, could you imagine being the husband of the mom?
And then the husband of the, yeah. And then there was a 15-year-old girl that was transported to St. Anthony's and then airlifted out of here. So who knows if that girl was an older sister or a cousin or, I mean, but that family, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
So, speaking of
The family.
Saeed and Nadia walking down the street singing. Okay,
yeah.
Jacob, they asked Saeed for directions as Nadia walks out into the crosswalk.
Why?
Because he needed her to die.
Why?
For Saeed to come back.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
For Saeed to come back to the island?
Yeah.
Why couldn't Nadia have gone with?
Because Nadia is not part of the plan. And as he says, you know, what about you? You know, like he doesn't give a shit about the people.
Yeah.
In theory. Do you think that he knew that Ben was eventually going to be the number 2 to Hurley? Do you think Jacob had any idea of that? Or do you think that was beyond his capacity, like to figure out?
I don't know.
Because the way he said, what about you, to him was so shitty, like he didn't have any plan for him. But then he ends up becoming such an integral part of the island going forward.
I think maybe...
And for some reason, I have it in my mind that Hurley and Ben ran the place for 700 years. I don't know why. I just have that in my mind that them with Walt just ran the island for hundreds of years. I don't know why 700 always pops into my head.
Why wouldn't 108 years make more sense to you?
I don't know. Because the numbers weren't relevant anymore at that point. Hurley was in charge.
I guess.
Those numbers were relevant to Jacob because those were the numbers of the people that he was picking.
Yeah.
Okay, so Naid finds the keys she was looking for and gets hit by a car, and then Jacob touches Saeed's shoulder. Gave him a quick one of those. He's always touching people. And the car drives off, and Saeed consoles Nadia, and she just says, take me home. So now that's a reason for him to go back to Iraq. He said said there's nothing there for him, so now he has a reason to go back. And then this was the most exciting part to me. In Tunisia, Ben wakes up. This says it goes to October 2005. So he was gone for months.
Yeah.
In between, you know, like he jumped much time.
Like in limbo or what?
No, for him it was instantaneous, I bet you.
Yeah.
But he skipped 10 months.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ben wakes up in Tunisia, in the Sahara Desert, and 2 men on horses ride up, and he asks if they speak English, and they pretend they don't. And they take off Ben's jacket and search him and find his weapon, which he plays off, and then he's just like, whew, and whips it open and beats the shit out of them, takes the guy's gun, kills the other guy, and then the remaining guy says, surrender. And he's like, oh, so you do speak English.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Interesting. And then Ben's just like, boom, knocks him out with the gun, and he ties his arm wound off, then takes the horse off, the horse and the gun, and rides off into the distance. And that'd be the end of the episode.
It was a really good episode.
I really enjoyed the episode. Yeah, I almost want to watch the next one tonight just because I'm so into
might.
it. Right. You won't.
Are
you trying to find your way into the shot, Maddie?
No.
Is that what's going on?
You want to come say hi? We're done.
Yeah, come over here and say hi.
No.
You have to talk into your mom's boobs.
No.
I have my microphone on.
No.
Say hi.
This is Maddie. This is Jenna's daughter. Sorry, I was looking over there at the screen that we can see.
What are you playing with? Oh, there's a game.
Jesus fucking Christ!
There's an animal.
Are you kidding me?
Peter!
Oh, Jesus Christ, Maddie! I had no idea that was there. What is happening right now?
There's an animal.
There's a live animal in a bucket on my table.
It's Peter!
You're Peter.
No, it's so
I
funny.
did not expect that. I have to be
He put
completely...
his head down here. Here, Peter.
Okay.
It's like shaking. It's so scary.
Yeah, I'm that scared that I'm shaking. We'll be back next week because, with another episode. Episode 81, so watch it.
If he posts 79.
If I post 79, because...
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.